everyone. Welcome to Death Curse, and I am Kayla. This is Kayla Cuts Deep. So, tonight I am super excited. Tonight's guest you may know from projects for Stuntman Comics with Mandy Summers, like the hit all ages campaign Wart the Wizard. He's also worked on Super Dead, Rocket Gal, and he's done some projects with that umbrella guy for his campaign. Now he is here to talk about his gorgeous artwork and the story behind his latest campaign with Mandy that has been a hit with everybody called Jack the Ripper Vampire Hunter. I present to you all Peter Gilmore. I love your energy.
And yes, anybody in the chat who knows me, I finally cut the hair. Finally got around to getting a haircut.
This is going to be a night of different accents because I have like such a wicked Massachusetts accent. Yours is very.
I stream with Mandy. I can do accents. Don't worry.
Imagine if I had her on here and then we would have three different accents at the same time. It would be craziness.
Get Bancroft on as well. Get an Australian in. You know.
So I just want to start by saying, so I saw your campaign. It was absolutely beautiful. And then you ended up commenting on one of my posts. And I was shocked. I was like, oh, Peter Gilmore commented on my post. He has this beautiful campaign. And you said something that I thought was so interesting. And I was talking about what was the best criticism that you have ever received or that helped you improve. And do you want to share what it was before we get into everything? Because I think this is important to your story.
What did I say? I can't remember. That was like more than 2 days ago.
So you said that Dan Fraga gave you some advice.
That was, he, I mean, I come from illustration and graphic design. That's kind of, I went to art school, did all that stuff. Then while I was at art school, I got a part-time job working in a bar, like a restaurant bar. And then somehow ended up being a chef for 20 something years. I mean, I still did art as well, on the side, because it's not an easy profession to make money in.
No, but if it's your passion,
Yeah. About 9 years ago, I thought, well, you're getting old now, Pete. Come on, let's bite the bullet and just do art. Let's try just doing art and get rid of the day job. So I did, and I kind of just did illustration, designing T-shirts and stuff. I did some, corporate design, logos, letterheads, advertising for big companies and stuff. That was soul destroying, but it's a good way to learn how to deal with customers doing that, because I guarantee you'll be changing whatever you've drawn. One person will love it and you'll think, yeah, cool, so you'll carry on working on it, and then you'll get an email later saying, oh, such and such at the company says, can you change this part? And then that's something that's going to take you another 4 hours to, Anyway, it teaches you what's the word? Well, it teaches you to be more relaxed, to get less irate, So, I was doing that, and illustration is very different to comics. It's
How so?
Well, it's like easy to draw like a pin-up, like say I wanted to do Wolverine, just draw Wolverine, smashing through something with the claws, and that's easy enough to do. But to tell a story in pictures is a very different thing. It can end up kind of flat if you're not careful, and like not a lot of action going on. Yeah. So one of the things that I learned from watching, it was Dan on the stream, and we, talking in the chat and whatever, and he started talking about this thing called I think he called it and then. So it's like, okay, I'm drawing Jack the Ripper, the vampire hunter, and he's stood on top of a building. That's cool enough, but then it's like, and then the wind's blowing, so you had that, and then it's raining, and then there's water running down him, and you just keep, adding more and more layers to it. more and more depth to it, just to make it more interesting to look at, and to add some kind of motion and excitement to it. So even the most boring of situations, you can do it with that as well. In fact, I'll show you some of that in a bit.
I
It's
know.
one of the pages that everyone's seen before, but it's like I'll show you how I kind of break it down. I mean, it's literally a page of people mostly talking, but it doesn't just have to be heads in boxes. You know, you can do other stuff. You can make it interesting.
No, it doesn't have to be. And you can also do, like, you can show, what's the word I'm looking for? Dynamic, dynamism, dynamic. Like, I can't
Dynamics.
even
Yeah,
pronounce it. Dynamics
I know what you mean.
in art concepts like that and artwork. So
Yeah.
what goes into the art process of creating a comic? I feel that this is something that is often always overlooked because a great artist has to do a ton of prep work. They have to do research in order to physically create these characters in these worlds. So
Yeah, I mean, it's not so bad if you're creating something. I'll say it's not so bad. Something from scratch, like if it's an entire new fantasy or sci-fi or whatever world, not really based on anything. But then you've got to think of it as a comic artist has to be. You have to design the characters themselves. So therefore, you're also a fashion designer.
yeah.
You might have to design weapons and stuff. You might have to be an architect because you've got to design buildings. Designing a whole world. So there's so much involved in it. It's so you're a fashion designer, architect, character designer, special effects guy, you're the stunt coordinator, you're the fight choreographer. It's a lot of things to think about. It's not just drawing pictures. It's a lot of preparation, a lot of design work, a lot of research, especially, I mean, a book like the Jack the Ripper one, I've done insane amounts of research for that. And I'll show you some of that in a second. I'll start bringing it up now while we talk.
Yeah, if you want to start sharing some stuff, I absolutely encourage you to. Spencer, get to work.
This is where it all falls over as I load like a crazy high resolution image onto my laptop.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I mean, I think Jack the Ripper looks gorgeous, and it's very different from the other art styles I've seen you produce.
Yeah, I mean, this is more my style of like from when when I do illustrations, it was always like really crazy detailed stuff.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
started work on I was going to do an illustrated Alice in Wonderland because I dig all
ooh.
that, all that crazy stuff, and it's all kind of a little bit dark as well, isn't it? You know, it's a bit.
It is very dark,
It's a bit.
actually.
Yeah, some. I mean, in the original book, Alice in Wonderland book, there's some really, nasty
Yeah,
stuff that
no,
goes
there
on.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's anyone who's just seen the Disney movie, the Disney cartoons, like no, there's more going on than that.
It's nothing like it.
Right, let's go to share screen. Share screen. No, I want a window. I want Clip Studio. Thank you. Share. Boom. Hide the stupid little thing at the bottom. There we go. So, have we got that?
That's beautiful.
Because I can't see. Yeah, I can't see what we're doing. I can only see my Clip Studio. So, I mean, this is what I would say is kind of not too much going on. Not too much action going on, but just to show. This is just to show you the kind of research that I've been having to do. So, let's go with what we got here.
Can I guess a couple things? One has to be the clothing style for the time frame, and then look at the emotions on people's faces, okay? Because I know you're like, they're really not doing anything, but everyone's face has a different kind of emotion on it. And then we have rain there at the bottom as well, too. So a weather change at that.
Yeah.
So it's like it's transitioning. There's some kind of transition moment going on here. That's what I feel. I'm a comic book lover. I've been reading comic books since I was a child, and I feel that this is some kind of and I can definitely see the vampire kind of marks there on the neck. I just caught that.
That's not vampire marks. It was a rat. Honest.
A rash,
Down and out. Yeah,
spider
no,
bites.
it was a rat. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It's like, I mean, in classic horror, you've got to have a couple of stupid people that don't just like, oh, what are those marks in the neck?
A
Oh.
hickey.
Yeah, it was a lizard, a wild lizard. Yeah, not lizards in the streets of London. But anyway, so I mean, for example, this first panel here, this is so back in the day they had these things called it's a coroner's inquest, where to decide what had happened to the person, they go to the morgue with the coroner, and the coroner was, I mean, that's this guy in the middle. This is he'd be the coroner. He'd also probably, more than likely, be a local butcher. So he'd have a butcher shop, which is Victorian days, fantastic. So they get people in off the street, just random people, and they get them all in to come and look at whatever body it was, and to decide what had happened to it. So they go in and go, oh yeah, that's murder, or oh look, that's died of hypothermia in the winter, or whatever. Just lay people who had no medical training or clue about anything, which is interesting. So I mean, the first stuff. This is a Victorian morgue at the police station. So that's part one of your research, and you can see, archways and stuff. I've kind of tried to put all that in here. And this is stuff that someone's going to read it and just skip past that and not even notice. But I know. I know it's there. Here we go. This is an illustration from back then, one of these coroner's inquests. So they literally just have heard a bunch of people in and go, oh, look, that's a dead person. And then it'd be in the coffin and off down to the cemetery. Now, because this is tied in with the here we go. See, I mean, this is one of the coroners. And surgeons as well. It'd just be a dude with an apron and a waistcoat, just like his normal clothes, but with an apron on. Yeah.
Very classy looking, though, at the same time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, apart from the fact it probably stunk in there, there's probably another 6 bodies piled up around the corner. And this kind of stuff only came in sort of round about this time period when this is set 50 years before the main story. So this is pre-Jack the Ripper. A lot of the forensic stuff came in because of Jack the Ripper to try and, they developed a lot of techniques and whatever because of him to try and find him. Or her. Could have been a her. Who knows?
Who knows?
There's even one theory that says it was Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, I've heard about that, and I thought that was a little bit odd,
well,
to be honest. But...
I mean, weirdly, I mean, Hitler was very, very, he was like 4 or 5, but I think it was his sister and brother-in-law were in London at that time. So, I don't know, maybe some kind of weirdness. Yeah. Anyway, here we go. So, this is a replica of the police uniform and you'd think, just finding out a Victorian police uniform would be enough. But not for me, no. I had to find the uniform from 1853.
Yeah, so you're trying to make sure there's historical accurate elements within the story, which is awesome.
Yeah, because weirdly, the police uniform in the prologue part of the story had white trousers. I mean, I researched it, but I never even drew the guys with you can't even see the trousers. So, the pants, sorry, I forgot. Because later on they were blue. So why they were white, I don't know which genius thought to give them white. No, that's going to get covered in all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I fall down a rabbit hole of like looking at police uniforms, and originally there was going to be the scene because the page before she gets attacked by the vampire and left in an alleyway, and I was going to have all the police turning up and they're blowing the whistles and whatever and all that kind of stuff going on, and then I discovered that back then they didn't even have whistles, they had these things. So I mean, this isn't actually in the book, but I'd still researched it just in case I needed it. Madness.
I don't think it's madness at all. What I think that's really unique about the concept of your book as well is, everyone does a vampire book about let's say Dracula or Nosferatu. I'm not knocking anyone that's what they choose
No,
to do
yeah,
for
yeah.
their book, but I'm saying it's very common. And your book is a very unique take, especially on vampires. Because when I caught the words Highgate, like Highgate, like I was thinking Highgate Cemetery and the Highgate Vampire. You know, I'm from Salem, Mass. Everybody knows that,
yeah.
and I'm into all this creepy stuff. And I remember in the 1970s. I was reading something about, not that I remember the 1970s. I mean, I technically would be a vampire then. But
Whoa,
I remember reading
what are you
about
saying? You're
in
saying
like the
wrong.
1970s or so that there was like a hunt for the Highgate vampire.
Mm,
And he was actually linked to Jack the Ripper. They were saying that the Highgate vampire was perhaps Jack the Ripper. And, you know, Highgate Cemetery it's a tourist attraction. Like I was
yeah.
saying to you, like there are celebrities that are buried there, Karl Marx being one, and George Michael, even, I believe you were saying, yeah. And I love the whole concept of this, and the artwork is gorgeous. I definitely think horror is your thing.
Oh
I
yeah.
feel that this gives me kind of like early EC Comics and Bernie Wrightson Frankenstein vibes.
Yeah.
I have this classic horror thing. I mean, you're someone I feel that you could have done like a Frankenstein book, but it's already been done. Like I definitely could see you doing that, or even a werewolf book in the
Oh
future.
yeah. I
Um,
wouldn't
but
dare to
this
do
is
Frankenstein.
beautiful. This is very different than other art styles I've seen you do as well for other campaigns. This is
Yeah.
your
I
thing. I feel
yeah.
completely.
I
Like,
like to kind of tailor my style to the book that I'm doing. Um, but this is kind of, I looked for the story to fit with my style, if that makes sense this time.
so who came up with the idea? I know that you do a lot of your work with Mandy. Was this Mandy's idea? Was this your idea? Was this
This one
something
was
mutual?
this one started off as my idea, because it was basically my turn, because we worked together. It's like, do something of Mandy's, do something of mine, keep it rolling like that. And yeah, so we've done like Super Dead and Walk the Wizard, and now it's my turn with Jack the Ripper, and I wouldn't want anyone else to write it, because yeah, she gets what I'm saying, stuff mostly.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah,
important too. When you start working with someone and you build a companionship with them and you just click really well on that level creatively, it's important to continue to work with people like that because you have an understanding and a rapport built with each other. You know,
yeah,
it's different when you go to work with a brand new person because you have to build that level of trust and that rapport. So,
yeah.
although it must be hard with the time difference, because what time is it out there
I
for you?
Well, at the moment, 1:20 in the morning.
In the
I
morning.
Yeah, 1:20 a.m. a.m.
Wow.
Yeah, I kind of got used to it. I mean, I've been doing comics now for 3 years or so, something like that. So I'd live on Eastern Standard Time mostly these days, or Central rather.
Did you always want to do comics or like what?
Yeah, I did when I was younger. I used to draw little comics, when I was very young. But then it was a very hard thing to get into in the UK, because obviously Marvel, DC based over there. All we really had, you either went independent, which would be like completely pointless back in the day, or you went to like 2000 AD, one of those magazines. So, and even a lot of the stuff that was published over here, there was American artists working on it, a lot of the things. So I kind of just, eh. And like I say, I worked as a chef for many years, and I did little bits of artwork here and there for people, like commission stuff. But yeah, so as soon as I found out about this whole revolution in sort of like self-publishing stuff and crowdfunding and whatever, yeah, I was in, definitely. It's a chance to finally do the stuff I wanted to do.
what do you think of the crowdfunding process? Like, what is the most important element of the crowdfunding process? You would say you've done a bunch of campaigns at this point
Yeah,
now.
it's you have to build your own platform, and everybody says this. Get a YouTube channel going, build up your. I wouldn't say Facebook because I don't use it. I mainly use Twitter, and then I kind of work with Mandy on the YouTube and whatever. And now I do a lot less of that at the moment because I'm busy drawing stuff, you know. Yeah, build yourself a platform up. Make sure you've got a good artist. I mean, anyone can do it. It's just you've got to tell the right story. You've got to be telling. It's like this campaign has taken off massively compared to the other ones we've done, and I don't know. I think it's just the right story. It's it's a cool idea. It seems to have fired up people's imaginations. They seem to be really into it. So, I mean, we've been building up like a platform we've got stuntmancomics.com. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I'm going to show that off. Don't worry. I already have that tab ready to go.
Yeah, so we've built up the comic side of things, and then also I'm building up contacts in like the horror communities. So yeah, it takes a lot of work. It really does. It really does. We've been doing it now for like, I think me and Mandy have been doing it like 2.5 years ish, something like that. 2 years. It's taken that long to get to where we are now. So I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is they'll have a great idea, they'll have a great looking book, but they won't have a platform to run it from. They won't have the following. They won't, and that can be very disheartening. I've seen people get really and pissed off about that, you know. But it is what it is. It's
all right, we have a question. So I'm trying to get better with everybody with taking people's questions. So Gerald Lang says, has Pete seen Jose Gonzalez's beautiful work on Vampirella in the 1970s, considered the Vampirella artist?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, my biggest influence would be Bernie Wrightson, probably.
I see it. I see Bernie Wrightson in your work, definitely.
I'm nowhere near as talented as that man was, but that his last book, Frankenstein Alive Alive, was just amazing, absolutely amazing, and his work on illustrating the Frankenstein book originally.
Oh yeah.
It's one day, give me another 10 years and maybe I'll be getting close. It's Cycle of the Werewolf.
Oh, that was great. I love that. I love that book. I love the illustrated version I have.
I mean, the guy could. It's like I was saying. You could just have two people talking in a room, and his panel work and all the detail in the background, and it's just I could sit and look at it for hours and hours. I collect them actually. I'm gradually getting better quality copies. I've got many copies of the same books, but each one's slightly better condition.
That's like me with certain X-Men stuff, like my Jean Grey collection. I have multiple copies. It's actually really sad.
I mean, one day I want to get the portfolio edition of Frankenstein with the huge prints, but
I actually
expensive.
I know where to get one. If you didn't live across seas and shipping wasn't so goddamn expensive.
I saw one actually. Yeah,
I work at UPS, so shipping for that is like $400 international shipping start off price.
Oh, worth it.
So especially with how I would have to pack it to even get it to you.
Well, look, I mean, we're what 11 days or 12 days into this campaign. We've got like another 45 or so to go. So if we keep making enough, I might be able to afford that, right? And yeah,
you're gonna get it. This campaign, I mean, it's already funded right now, correct?
Oh God, yeah,
already funded. You've been funded. and you're
Absolutely,
getting
yeah.
more people backing this book daily. It's because it's gorgeous. The story is very unique and it's gorgeous. The more I look at this too, I get kind of like almost like a manga vibe a little bit too. I mean, I'm big into Claymore, and
Oh
I
yeah,
see
yeah,
certain
yeah.
things that remind me of I can't think of the artist right now who did Claymore, but I
I
see certain things that remind me within that style. This style suits you. This is, I would say, the horror art style, these time period stuff. This suits you. I can tell that this is definitely your passion.
it's yeah. I've always been a huge horror fan. I love as a kid. I was all about the Universal monsters. Um,
Who is your
I got
favorite?
who's my favorite?
Yeah, who is your favorite?
The Gilman, the creature from the Black Lagoon. Weirdly, that's yeah. I always thought that was amazing. I had like an old Aurora model kit, glow in the dark one. That was fantastic, and I played that with that to death when I was a kid. I mean, I was into Frankenstein and Dracula and the Wolfman as well, but creature was yeah, the Gilman was fantastic.
Is it his design that you were drawn
It
to?
could be, or it could be Gilman Gilmore. I don't know.
Yeah.
It could have been something as silly as that. But he was the most monstery looking one. Plus, I was into dinosaurs, so maybe that's it. He's kind of a dinosaur type of. I think that was his backstory. He'd been there since whenever, you know. He was kind of an evolution, a different evolution of man. It went a different way from the dinosaurs.
So
Yeah, go on.
I got a question for you. What is
Hmm.
your first process when you go to start creating art for the comic after you've done your research, of course?
Yeah, okay.
Like,
I can
say,
say
as far as your concept art goes, that you had for characters, or anything along the lines, or anything you want to share, or anything on that, because I think that's important. Because I think a lot of
so.
people think you just start. Oh, you just jump right in.
So this, I mean,
Oh,
this is not a page from the book. This is something I've done just to show you tonight.
I don't care. I'm very
I can't.
interested.
Yeah.
Spencer, can we make this full screen by any chance? You don't care if we are like, we're there we go. I want everyone to see this on the big screen because this is gorgeous.
So this is the start. The start of the process is like I'll work out the panels, work out the story. I like to say, don't get excited. This isn't in the book. So I don't know. I've just put a scene together here where it's like one of our vampire ladies. They're taking over a theatre, you know, and they're going to butcher everyone in the theatre. That's the idea behind this. Threw this together this morning.
I love it. That's beautiful.
So
I love the proportions.
I'll start off with these. I mean, that's a little bit more than I'll usually go into. This is how I do my pencils. I do them digitally. Before I print, I'll print the final pencils out and then ink traditionally.
Okay.
So, you know, long shot, yeah, got the vampire chick here up on the stage, long shot of the theatre. There's a magician on stage. What? Slashed his throat open. A dude in the audience is like, and she's like, ah. He's like, my God, or something. And so she's like going to screw him up. Right, let's see. So, yeah, I'll start with these rough pencils.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Let me try and get these right. So, let's just tone that back a little bit. I just did it on this panel, to be honest.
I think this is important for anyone else that is interested in creating as well to basically see. Ryan, is that
Yeah,
me?
I mean, everybody's different. The way people do things, everybody's different. The way people draw, you know, work out characters, like poses and stuff is different. Some people will just do a stick figure. Some people do. Is that the right one? That's the right one. Yeah. I just have to check I've got the right.
So you start creating your shapes first. It looks
yeah,
like.
I mean, and some people might, when they're creating the shapes, they'll kind of. I don't know if you'll be able to even see. You see that kind of going on. So they'll just like do all these scrawly shapes and just build it up until they've got the right shape they want. I don't do any of that. I just go out and straight out draw the outlines of stuff. But I think that's because I did do art college and all that. I did like years of drawing naked ladies in classrooms, that stuff, learning how the body works. That's one of the things that I would say to anyone. to do to learn anatomy, learn how to draw anatomy.
Oh, I definitely agree. And your hands look phenomenal. I am really big on how people draw hands.
Yeah.
It's something that draws me. It literally draws me. It drives me insane when I see bad hands or bad proportions of hands. Hands are one of the hardest things to draw, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. I tend to agree with that. Hands, and to be honest, feet can be weird as well, especially bare feet with toes and stuff. That can be, yeah. I totally understand Rob Liefeld's pain of not drawing feet, even though he does. So yeah, I'll do like a rough pencil, and it's, you know, we've got like he's down here in the sort of audience, and then, you know, we've got the stage up behind her and whatever. So I'll do that first, and then I will, like, because this is black and white and it relies a lot on like light and shadow and stuff. So I'll rough in some rough idea of where the light's all coming from.
Okay.
Like that. So
it'll be your highlight area here. That's where you're going to highlight. Is that what I'm thinking? Or is that where you're going to put darker tones?
The red will be where the shadow goes. So,
okay.
So we've got, let me.
Okay, so your red is where the shadow's going.
Yeah, because the light would be coming from, see, we've got these little, they'd have these little lights at the front of the stage.
Okay,
quite often just candles, but with a mirror in the back. So
you'll
we've
be
got light coming up
that.
from here. We've got light coming, you know, here, and then in the background there. So there's light catching here on the front and all under her face, so the shadow up at the back. So I'll sit and work that out, and then I kind of go back in and tighten up the pencils. So if I drop that back a bit and bring that one up, is that it? I can't remember from doing the right layers or not here.
No, it's okay. Take your time. I am so appreciative that you're walking everyone through this process right now. Not everyone is always willing to show some of the tricks that they do and how they do everything artistically. So I am very appreciative. This is very informative.
I mean, I did consider doing like some drawing streams and stuff, but trust me, a drawing stream for this book, it would be 12 hours long and boring as hell.
Or you think it would be boring.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, as you can see before, it's kind of
I find it interesting.
I don't know what shows up. Sometimes these blues don't show up too well on YouTube, but it's kind of cartoony while I'm just figuring it out.
Mm-hmm.
So then I have to go in and make it a little bit more sort of detailed, make it less cartoony, you know, with a face there, and then with the guy down at the bottom. So, you know, you can see we kind of end up with more. So instead of looking like a cartoon fat dude, he looks scared. Go from cartoon fat dude with a weird sausage hand, sausage finger hand, to something more realistic.
Yeah.
And then I'll obviously do the whole scene like that, and I'll be putting in, you know, people in the background and whatnot, and just little details here and there. And then print out the blue lines, obviously not the red. I'll print out the blue lines, and then keep referring to the digital screen just to make sure I've got my lighting right. But usually by the time I get to the point of traditional inking, I'm fairly sure where everything's happening and whatever. So yeah, that's kind of it. That's kind of the process. I mean, I haven't inked it traditionally, not for this, because it'd be a lot of work.
You know, you and Ryan should team up for a late night inking show. And usually I don't do this, but it's Ryan Wynn's birthday. So I just want to say happy birthday to Ryan Wynn. He is a member of Death Curse, and he's like the inking king. So big shout out to Ryan. But definitely you two should consider doing like a late night ink together.
That's I'm always down for doing stuff, doing anything. Yeah. Although my sleep schedule's kind of, I don't know. Weird.
What is your favorite process? Is it the pencils? Is it inking? What is your favorite process when you are creating your art pieces?
I like the tightening up of the pencils. That's when I start getting, you know, with the more in-depth lines and whatnot. That's kind of my favorite bit. I mean, even this, I'd probably go more detail, way more detailed with the pencil. I usually go too detailed with the pencil, then realize I'm literally just going to draw over the lines again because they're already right. But you're tidying up the pencils, and then when it comes to actually inking, that's when I'll do all this stuff at the computer in my office, and then when it comes to the inking, I've got a huge drawing board. I'll slap the Bristol board on there, and then go into the other room, sit in a lazy boy, and put the TV on in the background and just chill inking out. And that's usually the bit that takes like 2 or 3 days. But for these pages anyway, I think the first page where it's the scene in London, that was like 5 days, something like that. It's not a quick process on this book, but it's worth it. Definitely worth it.
No, because you have so much detail in it, so I can imagine. And like I said, this is your passion, and I feel that you want to make everything as perfect as you can because you care about the art that you are producing and that everyone is seeing. Like you said, this was like your idea. So
yeah, I mean, like I say, I was looking for an idea to fit the style of book I wanted to do. So yeah, I mean, and I went through a lot of different. I'll stop saying that. I went through a lot of different ideas. There was, a werewolf book, vampire book, Dracula. No, not Dracula. Can't do Frankenstein because Bernie Wrightson did that. And then I was thinking, something kind of like Creature from the Black Lagoon. But then I started straying into more Swamp Thing, and it's like, nope, can't do that. So eventually, the Highgate vampire thing kind of drew me to this.
I love it. It's such an original concept. And just the whole Jack the Ripper element added to it, because there is quite the history between the Highgate vampire and the whole Jack the Ripper phenomenon.
I mean,
basically,
you mentioned earlier on that there was kind of it looked like there was some manga influence in there. I was very when I was designing Jack, I was very conscious of kind of that kind of thing. Because if you look at the design with the mask and whatever, that's I can see that turning up in an anime or manga or whatever.
yeah, no,
that
definitely. I can see it definitely as well.
And it just I do wonder if it was a conscious decision of mine to do it like that, or if it just like slipped in there, or it is what it is.
It worked. That's all that matters. Is it worked? So
I mean, I tried drawing him with a face, like without the mask, and it's like no. And I'd like to keep some of the mystery about him, because no one knew who he was. No matter how many theories there are, like nobody actually knows. Plus, it looks badass with a white mask. Not very practical with all the blood flying around, but he's probably got a shed full of them. He's probably got a ton of them in a cupboard somewhere. Or maybe it's a special mask. Maybe it's special. Maybe there's something special about it.
Maybe it possesses you.
Maybe. I'm getting into the mask now.
Yeah. So why did you put a mask on the character? Now I want to ask, because I'm intrigued, because you're making my brain turn. So why did you do a masked character?
Honest answer, it looks cool. It's kind of got a skull-like quality to it. It looks really good with like the dark, rainy streets and the fog and whatever. Having a figure all in black with this white ghostly face looks really cool. Pretty much just from a design point of view, just what looks cool. It's way better than having some weird old dude with a craggy face and whatever.
You could have gone that route.
Yeah, and a black mask wouldn't have worked, because then you'd just have a black silhouette all the time, and that'd be not
It'd be a little boring. I think it would have been boring.
Not that the book is all. It's not all foggy streets and stuff like that. There was a lot of stuff going on in London at the time. Chinatown was becoming a thing, so you've got opium dens. Yeah. There was a huge Egyptian exhibition going on, so that's a cool place to have vampires and Jack the Ripper fighting amongst a couple of sarcophaguses and all the stuff, mummified cats and whatnot, and jars, and It's just an excuse. I kind of wanted, I wanted places to draw where I could sit and draw like a million jars, or it's like with the cobbled streets. It's like I gotta draw the cobbles, just for the detail, because people like that. I think it kind of what I used to be known for, and then I did a bunch of other stuff, and people were saying, when are you going to do the really detailed stuff again?
What was the first campaign that you worked on, and how have you grown since the very first campaign you've worked on?
The first one I worked on was the one with Umbrella Guy, and that was kind of cartoony stuff. I designed it like the Umbrella Girl, and started doing like the Umbrella Guy crossed with Lovecraft stuff. I started doing that weirdness, him fighting against tentacle monsters and crazy stuff. Because I'm a huge Lovecraft fan as well.
Lovecraftian stuff.
It's one of the horror rules. You have to be into Lovecraft.
I'm in Mass, so there's like a ton of Lovecraftian stories from around my area, supposedly.
Yeah. I did start another project before. Actually, no, I did start two projects before. One of them, I started doing my own thing on my own, and it was kind of a weird cross between like steampunk science fiction and Hellraiser.
Oh, I actually like how that sounds, because I love steampunk stuff. I love like the H.R. Giger stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love his designs, his artwork.
Giger, another one of my.
It's gorgeous, and all that mech stuff. It's super cool. That actually sounds really interesting. That might be something, if you didn't finish, revisit.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of, it was kind of a bit H.G. Wells, a bit War of the Worlds as well. There was it was about these creatures from like another plane that came through into our world, and they were all on the moon. They were all put on the moon, and they were sending like these, because they were in a slightly different reality. We could barely see them, and literally over like a week, they took over the planet, and they were controlling people in the dreams. They were coming into the rooms at night and controlling the minds, and it was like, so everyone was basically a zombie apart from this one woman who it just didn't affect her, and she saw it all. So she made, I mean, in the tradition of Jules Verne and stuff like that, she made a spaceship. It's like a giant sphere made out of glass and stuff, and it floats. Forget the science. It's like, we're talking like 1930.
You know what? You got to revisit that idea. You have to revisit that idea at some point within your career. That is an amazing idea.
Maybe will.
Maybe that'll be your next project.
I have these crazy ideas. It's like, what was another one? Another one was, it was like Tarzan, but again, creeping into Lovecraft. It was Tarzan, but in the heart of the African jungle, there was like an ancient old one, like growing and infecting the jungle, and it was going to spread out of Africa into the whole world. So the son of Tarzan, because he's public domain and people can use him, he was going to return to Africa to fight this dark menace from beyond the stars. And we had like a troop of Nazi scientists going in to try and find what was going on, and there was like the elephants in the elephant graveyard all got infected, and so we had zombie elephants fighting Nazis, and fantastic.
I'm totally all about these ideas. So you got to do something with them, because
I have at least 2 ideas a day. We need to get, myself and Mandy, we need to get Stuntman Comics to a place where we can just employ other people to make these books, so we can afford to do that. That would be awesome.
So was Stuntman Comics something that you two came up with together? Or
no, that was Mandy.
Was Mandy's idea?
She does all the work on the website and whatever. Absolutely her brainchild.
How did you two
It's
meet to end up working together? I mean,
but she was doing her first campaign, Walk the Wizard, which the one that she drew herself and whatever. She wrote it, drew it, yeah, published it, did everything herself, lettered it, because she wanted to learn all the process. Plus, she wanted her first book to be all her, done by her.
I admire that. That's I didn't know that because I'm
Yeah,
newer to
yeah.
the scene. I've been on Twitter for about a year now, and I'm newer to the YouTube chat and like to the YouTube channels. And I've always known about all the indie stuff, but my background was always doing press at cons with more artists or writers that were considered like more mainstream now. And I was actually a vendor at many cons.
Right.
So my background is something completely different. And from working in the stores, I have a very different point of view of things. And even how, mainstream comics in ways has betrayed what they once were.
Yeah.
So I've always been great friends with Spencer. I met Spencer working at a con. That's how me and Spencer became good friends. And I've been friends with Spencer since I believe 2015. And he always generated all these amazing ideas. And he was like, come to the indie side. The stories are better. And,
They are.
creators get to own their own IPs. And there was just so much. And I learned so much about it. And I just fell in love with everything. And then I started backing Indiegogo's. And here I am.
A lot more people are coming over to I was going to say dark side, but no, we're not the dark side. We're the light side.
No, you guys are the light side. There is so much more freedom of expression, so much more acceptance, and there is real quality behind these stories.
The light side, he says, as he's drawing a book about a serial killer wiping out vampires.
Hey, you know what? There is, put it this way, there has to be a balance between darkness and light.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so even within the darkness, there is still light because they cannot coexist without each other.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, that's going back to that's how I met Mandy. She was doing that book, and she's the first person to admit she's not an artist, but she still did it. She drew it all herself, and it was like, with all the extra stuff in that, it ended up being like 90 pages, I think, or something like that. And someone had done a cover for her, and I just came across this tweet.
Mm-hmm.
And it was someone I knew had just done a cover for it, and I kind of jumped into the thread and went, I suppose I better do one now.
Yeah.
Thinking nothing had come of it, and then like 2 minutes later, Mandy's in my DMs like, hey, do me a cover. So I did the cover for her first book, and that's actually the Walk the Wizard campaign we've just finished doing.
Yeah.
That's book 2, and also I redrew the whole of book 1 as well. So
that's saw both. That.
Yeah, that's both. Completely different style, but it's still cool. It's there's a lot of detail and stuff in there. It's just toned back. It's toned back because it's cartoony. It's got to be more fun. Plus, I can't have like dripping skulls and things like that. Although the villain is like a skeleton dude in a cloak, and he's awesome to draw. Grave moss, love that. Yeah. There's lots of spooky stuff in it, actually, in those books. I think Mandy should be just doing horror.
Yeah.
Writing horror stuff. Because we did Super Dead, and that's like superheroes and horror. And now we finally get to pure horror. And then, we've got so many ideas and things planned. It's just a case of finding the time to do them all.
Finding the time to do them all. How is fulfillment going to work? Are you fulfilling things on like your side of it and she's fulfilling things like out here in the States? I mean, how does that work when you guys are in different countries? I'm curious.
She's doing all the fulfilling over there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I literally draw. That's kind of what I do. That's all I do. I kind of have to just keep drawing just to keep the volume of books going. I mean, we've done, this is the second one this year, but bearing in mind that Walk the Wizard one we've just done, that ended up being like 120 pages.
So let's see. I
think we did two last year, 2 books. Yeah, we did Super Dead and Rocket Girl last year. Stuntman Comics.
Yes. All right. So let's take a look at everything, because you were saying like you have a lot going on this website. You want to show it off. So let's show it off.
Yeah.
Because where should I begin?
Where should you begin?
So Jack the Ripper, we're going to go through last, because I like to go through every facet of your campaign possible. So where should we start?
I mean, if you've got all the books that we do there.
Okay.
Originally, Rocket Girl was me and Wyatt Holiday, but me, Wyatt, and Mandy always do stuff together.
I'm just going to scroll down.
Now Rocket Girl has been, we announced like not long ago that the next Rocket Girl has been published through Stuntman Comics. So yeah, we got all
this
the back
is Rocket Girl here you're talking about.
Yeah, she's had a bit of a redesign though, and the new book's a lot more realistic looking. She was very cartoony in the first book.
Is there like if I click on this, does it show like a little preview, possibly?
It might. You got the trailer. The trailer's.
Can I share it? Can I share it?
That? Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. All right. Hopefully the trailer shares. If it doesn't, because I can't even see if I'm even looking into the camera right now. I'm probably all cross-eyed. But hopefully this is is this playing? Hold on. All right. I have to go back.
Yeah.
And I have to share volume because I failed on that epically. And I want to make sure I share this correctly.
That's got to be the next thing that StreamYards do. They've got to put a button in so you can just turn the audio on.
I wish it was bigger. I forget.
Yeah, that little tick box at the bottom of the thing. Yeah.
And every week, Spencer or one of the guys will be like, "Kayla, do not forget to share audio." And almost at one point, I always forget to share someone's audio.
It happens. I
wouldn't
worry about it.
Let me go back to this Rocket Gal. Let me make this large, and let's play this.
So this is the original. This is the original designs for Rocket Gal. She's changed a bit now. So long since I've seen this. Mandy does better trailers than me.
I love that. That makes me think of like, were you inspired by, am I thinking of Jane Fonda right now? I don't know.
Barbarella, absolutely.
Yes, so that's what I get that kind of feel for that right there.
In fact, we did the blue cover was like an Indiegogo exclusive, and that's literally Jane Fonda. That's literally Barbarella. Yeah, I called that the Barbarella cover. Yeah, and we've got.
Let's go and look at Super Dead real quick. And this is all a part of, like, I know that because I already went through your campaign and everything. I know that, so people can get them off of this website, the Stuntman website, right?
Yeah.
But they can also, right? And I'm going to stop my cam when I go to play more video because it's lagging on my side. And I don't know, like I don't know if it's doing that when I stream. So I just want to make sure.
You're not lagging here. But
just in case my internet. What was I saying? I know that they can purchase these off of this website, but then you also, for your Indiegogo, isn't there like a Stuntman I mean, we'll get there.
There is, yeah. We've got the Stuntman Comics pack, which is you get Jack the Ripper, Vampire Hunter, you get Rocket Girl, you get both the Walk the Wizard books, and you get Super Dead for $120, I think.
Oh, wow.
And Rocket Girl, even though on the trailer it said 24 pages, we did like on your stretch goals that you have on your campaigns. The first stretch goal was $0. It's now 32 pages, just because why not? So it's actually 32 pages.
All right. So we're looking at Super Dead right now.
Super Dead. We've got, we sold out of the John Malin cover. John did that for us. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. We still have my cover, and we still have the blank sketch covers, which, you
get to read the first 12 pages of Super Dead for free.
Yeah.
Let's click. I want to click on just a couple of them. All right. We'll look at like the first 4. I don't think I can make this any larger because I want to make sure I get to your campaign. So
of course they're tiny.
Yeah, they're tiny. So I'm just gonna do a quick click through.
Yeah, that previous page, that one, I remember I was joining that on a live stream, and we had Art Bear on. Art's the legend Art Bear, and that was the first time. Not that I ever fan out or geek out, but he was like, "That's really cool how you've got that framed. That looks good," and I'm like, Art's fantastic. He's always been a big supporter of ours, and I love him to bits.
That's awesome. I'm gonna play this trailer now.
Yeah, this is where Mandy starts doing the trailers.
Yeah, and there is sound here.
Yeah, there is. It's just
perfect.
Again, it seems so long since I worked on that, but it wasn't that long ago. It was only kind of end of last year. Yeah, so we went from like the cartoony kind of Rocket Girl and Walk the Wizard straight into ultra violent superhero horror.
And there's an email for Stuntman Comics too. I accidentally closed out the tab, but there's like a sign up. I'm guessing like a newsletter for Stuntman.
Newsletter on there. Or you can just like follow me on Twitter or follow Mandy on Twitter.
Yeah, we'll get to that at the end. Everyone will be able to find you, I promise.
Oh yeah.
If they're not following you now. So
if not, why not?
If not, you better be.
Yeah, I mean, if you follow me, you might get to see some more pages of I think we're going to pace out showing any more pages from Jack the Ripper. Because, I mean, we're not far into the campaign, and there's 8 pages on there already on the campaign page. So,
all right, let's get to Jack the Ripper.
Let's do it. Let's
get to it. Share screen. All right.
So many things to click when you're sharing the screen. It's annoying.
All right. So you have already done $25,000, almost $26,000.
Yeah.
You have 398 backers. Let's get you to 400 tonight.
That's literally gone up. That's 2 backers since we started streaming. So
and you have
cool.
these left. And are you guys going to extend the campaign?
Yeah, of course.
Definitely.
Of course.
Of course, yeah.
There's many lessons you learn through crowdfunding and like being involved with Comicsgate and things like that.
Yeah.
Everybody, it was all very much a learning process for all of us at the start.
What was one of the biggest things you've learned so far before this campaign? What was something you learned that you brought into this campaign?
To be honest, I think we kind of learned, we got to where we are like on Super Dead, maybe.
Okay.
The one thing that's really hard to judge is pricing original art. That's, we still didn't get it right on this one. It's like, so the previous campaign, it doesn't all sell, so you think, oh, maybe we're charging too much. So then you drop the price and then it all sells. Everything sells, really quickly. Like, oh, damn it. We probably could have charged. But to be honest, I'd rather charge less and have people be able to afford it, than. Plus, I've got to draw it all anyway for the book, so it's only going to sit around.
Yeah.
I'd rather someone have it on the wall or, in their collection.
I love that. So you want to keep it that it's affordable for everybody, and you want to give everybody a chance to back it and get it if they want to. So
exactly,
I love that.
And we've kind of put up all the original ink pages for like the covers. That all went, I think, on the first day. They got sold on the first day, and then the stretch goals that we're doing, all the original artwork for those. That's we put that on as we open the stretch goal. So we'll say,
you're going to get to them.
Yeah, so we'll tell everyone, you've got a new trading card, and then we'll put the artwork for it up for sale. And so far, both of them are like within half an hour or so. We're putting them up, like gone.
That's awesome.
Fantastic. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to stop my cam to play this trailer real quick, and
yes.
Then again, I'll jump back on cam and we'll look through everything.
One of Mandy's creations again. She's good at this stuff.
There's volume, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There you go.
What a trailer.
It's amazing as well that the only, even in the page, in the trailer and in the pages, we've not really shown Jack off much. He's barely, because this is the prologue. The pages are up there. The only pictures of Jack are just like promotional stuff. Wait till you see him in action. He's cool. He could do stuff.
That trailer also it like plays through to almost like a video game to me.
Yeah.
I love that.
This is it. I mean,
it's enticing. That's a great trailer.
Are really into video games as well. Yeah. It's, I mean, War of the Wizards, like that's basically the old sort of point and click adventures.
All right. Games. Let's go down here. So we're going to take a look, and then I'll go to the side and we'll go over basically what you have here. So this is the cover. The cover.
That's the standard cover. Very much a tribute to Bernie Wrightson.
I was going to say that screams Bernie Wrightson to me in the best possible way. So if you wanted a Bernie Wrightson, like to me, that screams Bernie Wrightson. So kudos to you, because I can see his influence in your work here clearly. That is gorgeous.
I can't overstate how much I love that man's work. fantastic. His the horror stuff, the Swamp Thing, and yeah.
Yeah, I don't compare many people to him. Spencer Spencer would tell you I am an art Nazi.
Oh, right, okay.
And that I make grown men cry. So
Wow.
this is that good that I am saying this.
I'm blown away by how well it's been received. I think I've only had. I mean, normally when we put a book out, there'll be a ton of people just bitching and moaning. Not because there's anything wrong with the book, it's just they like to bitch and moan.
Yeah.
They hate us. They hate us. They hate us, my precious. They hate us. But this one, two sarcastic comments, and that's it. And I don't think they were even meant.
I love this cover too.
This is cover B, which is the Indiegogo exclusive. We won't be doing this cover again on reprints or anything like that. You may well see you'll see that first cover again, but you won't see this one.
This one, yes.
Yeah. This originally it was going to be black and white.
No, I like the color in it. I could see you doing the black and white, but I like the elements of the reds and the orange with the purples and the blues mixed in, and just a hint of pink.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I didn't want to color it like right. His shirt's this color, his trousers are this color. She's this. It's me being arty, all artistic.
I'm trying
Plus,
to think
there's also another reason. There's another reason for doing this in color, which is to do with the crowdfunding side of things.
Oh.
So yeah. So on Indiegogo, when you go to browse like comics, and it'll give you a list, and you get that little thumbnail.
Yeah.
Black and white books don't seem to get as much traction. So if you've got a black and white thumbnail, so we did the color on this one to catch the eye on that screen on the thumbnail view from Indiegogo's Explore section.
It also kind of reminds me like of I want to say it's Arthur Sudam I'm thinking of. He did like I think it was some of the not Marvel Zombie. Is it Marvel Zombies I'm thinking of? But Arthur Sudam. He used color schemes like this mixed with like a Junji Ito artwork.
Yeah.
Kind of like yes.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I've got Junji Ito by the side of the bed at the moment. That's my before going to sleep reading.
I've read all of his stuff.
He's
like Stephen King of manga.
Yeah. My dreams are filled with all kinds of weirdness because there's stuff I read before to go to bed, and also I like to listen to audiobooks because being kind of creative, your brain never goes to sleep, especially when you get into bed and your head hits the pillow and you just, that's an idea. God damn. So audiobooks.
This is like the sexy cover, I want to say. This is beautiful.
That was the 72-hour variant for the start of the campaign. That has now gone away.
I can see why. I mean, that's gorgeous. And I love these women's faces. They look scary and evil, yet seductive and beautiful at the same time. And just the proportioning of the body, it's gorgeous. I love that.
I mean, this one was Mandy's idea, this cover. We're both huge fans of The Darkness.
Yes. Yes.
And there's a fantastic Darkness cover with Jackie sat on a chair with all these like half-naked women sort of draped around him. So Mandy said, let's do something like that. So me being me, went and found the most ornate Victorian chair I could find for reference and drew that. Yeah.
It worked.
Then decided to draw the Victorian rug, and yeah.
It worked.
And we were, to be honest, we weren't even sure if a 72-hour thing would work. I was thinking, oh God, what if we sell like 3? We're going to look stupid. But we
sold them all.
We sold. I mean, people still want it now, but it's gone. Sorry, it was. I think we sold like maybe 250, maybe more in like the first couple of days. Yeah, well, it would be the first couple of days because it was only there for first 3 days. So yeah, that was a lot. We moved a lot of books in a few days. I think we'd like on the end of the first day of the campaign, we'd hit like $10,000.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's insane. It's insane. I'm blown away by
It
just
must be such a great feeling. Like it's a feeling you can't even put into words, I bet, because it's
exactly.
your passion, it's your baby. So I'm so happy that this happened for you guys because I love to see dreams come true with creative projects and pursuits like this. I am
Yeah.
so big
I
on
mean,
it.
like you say, we've been doing this now for the past 3 years, crowdfunding books. And we've done, yeah, like this is my fifth one.
Yeah.
Mandy's done 5. Yeah. I think Wyatt's not part of this project, but you know, he's part of the unholy trinity.
Yeah. I'm going to read through this real quick.
Yeah.
I have Welcome to Hell. A plague has swept through the old town of London and a newborn vampire uprising has begun. There's only one person that can stop it, Jack the Ripper. I know my Boston accent, everyone. Jack the Ripper, vampire hunter. Jack is in a race against time to stop their world's most vicious killer, the Highgate Vampire. The ancient vampiric harbinger has created a legion of all-powerful newborn vampires to stop Jack's pursuit so that he may flee London, taking refuge to enter an eternal rest that will replenish his hellish powers. Can Jack put the final clues together in time to find the Highgate Vampire and stop him before it's too late? Join the hunt and back this project today. Immaculate interior art. I cannot argue with that. And it is intensely high detail artwork. It's beautiful. The highlights, the shading. So let's
second page there. That was the first thing I showed off. Actually, just that panel. I think it was just the horse, and where she's getting knocked out of the way.
You know what? Horses are hard to draw too. That's something that is really hard to draw.
Yeah. I mean, and I was looking for references for horses, and nothing was quite right. So I had to get 5 or 6 different pictures of horses, and then just kind of mash them together in your head to try and get the right pose. And I think I did it.
I like how you conveyed the rain here too, as well, and like the fog and all of the smoke here coming out of the chimneys. I mean, that's hard to do in black and white.
Yeah, but it's got to be black and white. I tried coloring a page, and it just didn't look.
No, I'm glad you kept it in black and white. I am a huge fan of black and
white it looked okay.
Artwork.
It looked okay, but it lost all the atmosphere.
You can always tell, and I know people hate me for saying this, but you can always tell who is a great artist by looking at black and white artwork, okay? Because color can be used to cover up things.
Exactly, it can.
I'm
guilty of doing that in the past. On other books, I've kind of drawn stuff knowing, because I color all my own stuff as well, and do all that. So I've drawn stuff knowing that I'm going to do certain things with the colors after.
Yeah.
And some of the previous books I've worked on, if you just looked at the line work, you'd be like, oh. But that's because I knew I was going to use a painted kind of style underneath and etc. But yeah, you're right. Color can hide a ton of not bad art, but you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're talking about, and I'm a big fan too of eyes. How people draw eyes, because eyes tell a lot about the emotion that's going on in a scene, more than anything. I feel like
that's eyes and showing emotion and getting the right emotion.
Yes,
that can be tricky. I mean, hopefully I've kind of got down that she's pretty dejected and pretty miserable right up until the shock of
There's also an innocence and a fear as well. I see in some of it. There's an innocence in a way that's conveyed in the eyes that you drew, and almost like a fear and a curiosity even too.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. It's definitely a surprise to bump into that.
Yeah.
You're like, what the? Good evening, sir. Oh, you don't look very human.
What the hell are
which
you?
which is, I mean, that's part of the story. The story is that this vampire, he's been around for a long time. And he needs to like rest, like a proper rest, like 100-year rest. So Jack's on a time limit here to stop him before, he disappears.
I love this
Disappears from the
here
country.
too.
Oh
This to
yeah,
me, all right. I could be wrong, okay,
yeah.
but I could be right. To me, this looks like the infection setting into a bloodstream.
Yes, yeah, exactly. That's exactly
And
what it is.
that is drawn so beautifully, I may add. This is gorgeous. It's
It's
almost trippy.
it's so yeah. Some of the stuff I've had to research. My Google search history is people probably think I'm some kind of serial killer. I'm surprised I've not been flagged or put up on a watch list or something. Looking up, yeah, some gruesome things. And later in the book, there is some gruesome stuff
Oh,
drawn
I'm
in
all about it.
anatomically correct detail. It's gross. I was researching because I'd seen like drawings and stuff of Jack the Ripper's victims, but there's a few photos out there and they're all grainy and horrible. So you're kind of peering at and trying to make out what it is, and then it clicks in your mind what you're actually looking at. It's like, oh my god, he was a dick. Jack the Ripper was not a nice person.
Well, with a name like that, I mean,
Yeah. He had he had all kinds of different names. The butcher. He was like old leather apron. That was a famous one.
old leather apron.
Yeah.
All right. We have your stretch goals here. So before we get into stretch goals, okay, we're going to go over what's left of your campaign. So I'll just go over real quick what's sold out. The pre-launch box is sold out. The books in the artwork, the stretch goal box, the books in the artwork have sold out.
Yeah.
Your stretch goal box, again, books and art, sold out. Both covers, the cover box, books and cover art, sold out. The other cover box here.
Sold out.
The other cover box. Okay, guys. So this is what you will not be getting.
Yeah.
Unless you already backed.
You won't. I mean, there's interior pages, so we'll get there though. But
yes. All right. So let's see what we have here. So we have. So the featured perk is the Tombstone box, and it contains everything plus sketch cards.
Yeah.
If I go to click on this, unfortunately, it doesn't make it bigger. So
it'll just bring up your banking details for everyone.
Yes. So when you say everything, what is everything that is within this box?
It'll be all the stretch goal stuff. It'll be both the covers and the sketch cards, which are Mandy's doing one and I'm doing one. And trust me, it's not like a quick. I've seen some sketch cards on campaigns, and it's like, not being rude, but a couple of pencil squiggles. It's rough. These are like as detailed as the pages, the ones that I'm doing. So that's
you're gonna get a beautiful sketch card.
Yeah.
So you're essentially going to get like an art card, I want to say.
Yeah. Pretty much.
A mini poster in a card.
Yeah. I mean, I've got one here, but I haven't finished it yet, so I'm not going to show it because it's like half done. But yeah, that box, that first one was originally it was a different version because it had the 72-hour variant cover in there.
Yeah.
Sold a crazy amount of those as well. So just in case anyone's, because you get people going, they'll look at campaigns like, it's made this much, but only these many things have been sold. I suspect trickery. No, there's no trickery. We just took down all the stuff involving the 72-hour variant.
I don't understand. It is what it is. If you don't want to back, then just don't back. But I don't see a reason not to back this project. They would be crazy not to back this project. And I know people that are late to this project that may have like kind of slept on this project are probably sad that they missed out on that 72-hour cover.
Yeah.
So
we're hearing a lot from people about, I'll get a DM saying, can you save me one? Can you do one for me? No, I can't. Try Mandy. She's softer than me, but I'm like, nope. We've got to stick to it. Otherwise, you're going to get people complaining. If someone comes late to the party and gets one, everyone's got to get one, and then it defeats the purpose of
So all
that
of the
really good.
covers, right? $25.
Yeah, $25 for the book.
So cover A, cover B, and we saw these over here on the side. Unfortunately, guys, the 72-hour book, it's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone, but you can still choose between two other beautiful covers. This Bernie Wrightson tribute cover, which is amazing. The Pursuit, it's called. And cover B, this one's titled The Arrival, with the gorgeous colors. That fade, almost like ombre. Like I'm a hairdresser, so that's a term we use for when colors fade that way. So, and then we have an awesome T-shirt here. That is a really cool T-shirt. I love that.
Yeah, there's a bigger picture of it down at the bottom of the campaign. Let me
get
uses, it's down.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. There you go.
That's a cool that is a cool T-shirt.
There you go. So that was a nightmare to draw. That where it says like police news, it's from the original, like the police news, like newspaper that used to go out around London. It was just like a one-page thing they used to give out. And the get where it says ghastly murder, that's redrawn from the original wanted poster for Jack the Ripper.
Oh wow.
So yeah. It
says
awesome. There you go. It says something like capture old leather apron along the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the only place you'll be able to get this particular T-shirt on this campaign. It won't be on, because we use Stuntman Comics. We also use Comics Avalon, which is Wyatt's website. So this is
Indiegogo exclusive only. You will not be able to get this on the Stuntman website, guys. So if you want this shirt, this is your chance to get it, as long as this campaign is up and running.
And pretty much everything on the campaign, you can back a tier, and then on the next page you've got all the add-ons, so you can add extra stuff if you want to. So the T-shirts there, you could basically just back the book, the basic book, and then pick what you want from the rest, and just add what you want, make your own bundle up. So
that's
everything,
awesome.
everything's available as add-ons at checkout.
So A and B here, cover A and B.
Yeah.
That's $50. So this is awesome. I think here you have a Stuntman Comics collection here, and this is basically the projects that you guys have done together, right? Because or is this Mandy's original book, and then the other one is your book that you redrew, or
no, you can't get Mandy's original book anymore.
Oh, okay.
I think that's
I didn't know it was
sold out. No,
so these are just the ones that you guys work together on, and then the other books.
That first one where you can see the Grave Moss, the skeleton dude, that's actually a wraparound cover, so the image carries on all around.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's got a bunch of characters and it's all kind of painted, like a painted style.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so you get both of those. You get Rocket Girl and the Mole Men of Mars, Super Dead and Jack the Ripper Vampire Hunter.
Yeah. Then you have the art box. So what's this art box? Explain this.
Art box it's both the covers, and you get a page of the original inked interior art, which is, I mean, $200 for 2 books and a page of original art. That's cheap. That's cheap.
So yeah, original art is in that box as well.
Yeah. So
you said for 200. So wait, reiterate that again.
$200. You get 2 books. You get both covers, and you get a page of interior artwork, which is, this stuff.
That's a steal. Oh wait,
that's
Spencer.
Insane. I know,
do a close up on that. Spencer, where are you, my producer?
Oh, hang on. No, we've got boobs and nipples and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Also, the green screen hates it because it's got the blue line.
No, but you know what? We can see that thing, and you know what? You can't even see the boobs with the green screen right now. So
no, there's interior pages to get. Unfortunately, sorry, this is spoken for that one.
But no,
you snooze, you lose.
You snooze, you lose, guys. So, but there are still more that are available. So basically,
there is. Yeah.
Every page from the book. Are you keeping any pages for yourself, or are you just
no? It's
giving
all
them all?
Yeah, it's all going.
Oh wow! And you have 40 pages left.
40 pages left. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we will probably those will probably start going quicker when we start showing more pages off further
Oh,
into
I
the book.
bet. I bet.
It's,
That's a
I'm very
steal.
surprised. I'm surprised actually that one where she first bumps into the vampire and gets bitten. This one, nobody's actually wanted that one, which is surprising. That's kind of one of the second images I showed up. I think that's the one that Ethan saw, Ethan Van Skyver, and
And
which is awesome because now he promotes our book on his shows.
yeah, I mean,
Which is
you got
fantastic.
real like he said a lot of positive things on his auction you were on the other night
Yeah,
about
yeah,
you.
that
So he
was
spoke very high praises. So
yeah, that was fun. That was good fun
yeah.
that night. I'm
I
always happy
listened to it when I
to
was driving home.
sell artwork. It's and I mean sometimes if you're really lucky and you like catch me on one of Mandy's streams, sometimes we give away original artwork on there. Yeah. I think the last one we
You're
did,
doing so much.
we
All
did
right.
like a full moon party, so I gave away 2 pieces of werewolf artwork.
A full moon party.
It was fun. It just so happened we were going to do a stream and it was a full moon, so Mandy dressed up as a
Oh,
wolf and I drew werewolves and stuff.
that's awesome. A full moon party. All right.
Yeah,
So you guys are reaching your $30,000 stretch goal. So the first 2 stretch goals are already hit.
yeah,
So let's see
yeah,
what they are. So, this is some of your original artwork here. I'm just going to scroll
yeah.
through because you
I need
showed.
to, we need to get those changed out because that's been sold. I want to get artwork on there that hasn't been sold.
Yeah, I think you can rotate it out. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you
Covers
can.
the artwork.
Yeah.
This is probably gone, I imagine.
Oh, yeah. That one, went very quickly because ladies and boobs.
Yeah, of course. Everyone loves boobs. So,
Yeah. It's been crazy, just the response from people on this campaign. And I'm eternally grateful to everyone. Even if you can't afford to back or whatever, just sharing it. People who share it around on social media. That's how we get new customers. That's how we build that's how you build up your following and your base, which is what you need.
yeah, sharing and retweeting and just
Yeah,
being supportive of everyone's project, in the way that you can. Financially, if you're not able to, that is completely fine. Just share it, retweet it. That's
yeah,
all you got to do. So, and it helps that you and Mandy are both going on different streams at the same time. So it's like
yeah.
all different promotion aspects.
It's to be honest, we never know what each other's doing most of the time. It's like, oh, I'm doing this stream, and she'll be like, oh, I've got this. It's, oh, okay.
All right. I just want to ask the chat because we've been going for quite a while now, and I just want to make sure. Does anyone have any questions for Peter? Or any comments or anything?
I did notice Jabba the coach had popped in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want any questions from Jabba.
Okay, no questions from you.
Pete, why are you such a dick? I'm joking. I love Jabba. He's funny.
Okay, so I guess no one has any questions. Going once, going twice, 3 times. Okay, so I just want to close up. Before I close out and we ask everyone where they, ask you and you can tell everyone where they can find you. What is something that you would... What? I wait for no one. Okay, I'll wait a couple more seconds. All right. I'm getting crap from the death curse dudes here, Spencer. I'll wait a couple seconds. Is there anything that you want to share about working on this campaign in general? In the meantime,
it's. I think my kind of passion for this shows in the art. Hopefully, it's the book I've always wanted to do. It's my style. It's horror, which is absolutely my jam. I love horror. I love horror more than superhero books.
You're not wrong for saying that. Everyone is
Which,
entitled to their own opinion. And guess what? I know someone else that feels very much the same way.
and I mean, look,
Spencer.
I couldn't afford in a million years to make the horror movie I want to. So we do. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, couldn't afford to make a horror movie to the standard that I'd want to. So a comic, comics are better in my opinion.
Thank you, Joe.
Better than movies. So Jack the Ripper is a good guy. He is. I did get shouted at that about that on Twitter. Someone shouted at me.
Yeah, but when it's your book and it's your creation, you're entitled to do whatever it is that you want.
Yeah.
So,
I got told off because he was a vicious, horrible killer that murdered all.
Oh my goodness!
It's a what if, and like I said as well, too soon. It's like been over 100 years.
That's a conversation for another time. I could really get into you, but it's you know what? Comics and art are about escapism. Okay. And exactly. I'm just going to leave it at that,
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, if you haven't checked out the campaign, please check it out. I know you're going to love it. I love it, and I love horror. Check it out. And like I say, if you can't back, then please do share it around on social media. If you can, that would be awesome. Doesn't take 2 seconds to hit retweet.
So my last question for you before you share all your social media info and everything is, what advice would you give to a newer creator that wants to do this but is too scared to do it? Or what's some advice you wish you had when you first were starting all of this, besides the promotional stuff?
Find someone that you can work with and you trust, which is a hard thing to do. I know. I mean, a lot of people have just sat there at home on their own, don't know anybody in the business or whatever. If there's anything you need to know about the process, or improving artwork, improving story, just ask on Twitter, ask the comics community. You'll get the answers. Don't be afraid to direct message people. Don't be afraid to ask if there's anything, and you can always hit me up. I'm always there to help people out where I can. Don't say, can you help me with this book, and then say, just draw me these 6 pages, because that's not happening. Don't you laugh? That's happened before.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm doing a comic. Can you help me design this character?
For a price.
For a price, yeah.
Everything has a price.
I used to do stuff for free. It's like, but no, I need to eat.
Yeah, of course. And do you do any commissions, or?
I do, yeah. Always available for commissions. I always find time. I work.
What do you typically charge for one? For anyone that is interested in a commission, or is it a workable price depending on?
It's a workable price. It depends,
okay.
Yeah, it depends what they want. I mean,
DM him.
It can go from $50 all the way up to. I mean, I've done stuff for like 1,000 odd before now, but that's crazy stuff. That's crazy detailed, like huge size things. But the $50 stuff is just simple. It's some more simple stuff.
All right, and where can everyone find you?
You can find me at Peter Gilmore Art on Twitter. I do have Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff, but I don't really use it. It's most of my interaction is through Twitter. You can also find me from time to time over on Mandy Summers' YouTube channel. We do stuff occasionally, not so much anymore because, like I say, I'm just drawing all the time. I used to draw on her live streams, but I can't really draw this stuff because spoilers.
No spoilers allowed.
No spoilers allowed. I mean, we will show more of the book off as and when, but it's all at the moment. It's all plot heavy stuff. So
yeah, you got to just back it and wait for it to be done to find out what is in it.
look at the pages that are there, you know the rest of it's going to be more detailed than the stuff that's there, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. So, all right,
Yeah.
everyone. The link for this Indiegogo is on this YouTube here. It's also in the chat. You can literally, if you forget the name of it, which I don't know how you can with art this gorgeous and a story so unique like this, it's
To be
Jack
honest,
the
when I
Ripper.
first
Go ahead.
first thought of it, I just mentioned the name to a couple of people, and they're like, "Do it!" I've not shown any art or anything, just like Jack the Ripper Vampire, and said, "Do it."
Those are your kind of people. Those are good
Yeah.
people to have.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to the stream. Thank you so much, Peter, for coming on. I appreciate it. This has been awesome and showing us your art process. So everybody follow Peter on Twitter and sub to the Death Curse channel.
Yep. Smash like.
And back Jack the Ripper today.
Please.